What's up, guys? Sean here, coming at y'all with a quick little video. Going to be going over the second preseason game, Eagles versus Patriots. Going to be going over the quarterback play throughout the game, the offensive line, some surprise players that we didn't expect to show up on the stat sheet, how the coaches changed things from week 1 to week 2, all that and more. But first, if you're new here, please like, please subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. I appreciate your support, and with that being said, let's get right into the video. So right off the bat, digging into things with Andy Dalton and Tanner McKee. Andy Dalton comes out and misses a couple throws right away. Just some awful gameplay from him all around. Was really disappointing to see because he's had some pretty good moments in camp, and you expect more from a veteran quarterback that should know this system pretty well already. I mean, you got guys like Eli Stowers, who's battling to make this team, who's getting so much shit on his name and drugged through the mud so much. And right here, you can clearly see that Stowers runs a great route, gets wide open. Jalen Hurts puts that on the money, and that's a big gain. That's a big first down. Andy Dalton just sails it. Like, he's throwing everything 10 yards past where it needs to be. It's like he has no arm control anymore. And shit like this is just really annoying because you don't have to win these games, but you need competent quarterback play so we can evaluate guys like Eli Stowers, who needs all the help he can get right now. On a little side note here, look at that blocking from the offensive line. What is Andy Dalton doing? You've got all day. I mean, look at this. This is a starting caliber offensive line. He has all the time in the world. There's no pressure. Just put the ball on Eli Stowers. You know, it was like this all night. He missed at least 10 passes, and I will say 2 or 3 of them was some good cornerback play from the Patriots, but there's no excuse for this. Tanner McKee, on the other hand, came out, looked a little rough in the beginning, didn't really get much going in the first half. Then the second half kicked off, and he did a really good job just spreading the ball out. No one guy really took too much outside of maybe Carson Steele, but he looked pretty good in the second half. Was able to get the ball in the end zone and put the Eagles in a spot to stay competitive throughout this game. I don't know why Andy Dalton is going to continue to get the second team reps when it really belongs to Tanner McKee. I feel like the Eagles have kind of done a bad job this offseason kind of managing Tanner McKee. I think the Andy Dalton signing was a good idea. Looking back on it, you want to have a veteran quarterback in the room, but with Tanner McKee looking as good as he did and then drafting Cole Payton in the draft as well, you didn't really need that veteran backup right now unless you planned on dealing Tanner McKee, which really doesn't look like it's going to happen at this point, but maybe we get a surprise trade right before the cut deadline or something along those lines. Both of Tanner McKee's touchdowns came on either screen plays or short plays, but I still think he did a really good job spreading the ball around tonight. So stock up for Tanner McKee. It was really encouraging to see. As for Cole Payton, he only got the last drive of the game, a minute left maybe. I'm not really sure why after what happened last week, he only got one drive. In reality, when Andy Dalton was struggling early, you should have put Tanner McKee in sooner so you could make some time for Cole Payton at the end of the game. Maybe they were just trying to be competitive. Maybe they're not sure what they want to do with Cole Payton yet, but he could really use these in-game snaps, and I would have liked to have seen a little more from him. Unfortunately, he comes out, gets sacked, fumbles the ball, and that's pretty much game. So not the same heroics we saw last week, but that doesn't really discourage me for Cole Payton. You're only getting to see a couple snaps of him here and there. It's not all going to be amazing. Talking a little bit about the backup offensive line, they were making plays all night. It was fantastic to see. Another week stacking more good performances. I really just can't stress enough that this backup offensive line unit looks like a starting unit. And even when they've mixed guys in and out, there have been a few different guys that are just consistently making noise. The run schemes look great. We'll dive into that more when we talk about the coaches at the end of this video. But across the offensive line, it's just been amazing what they've been able to do. And even here on the backside of it, you see EJ Jenkins and Cameron Latu, I think it is, just blocking all the way across the front. The scheme, the zone that they're all in, doubles all the way across the board. It just makes it so much easier for the running backs to do what they need to do. And that's why Will Shipley and Carson Steele looked so good tonight, because this offensive line really just makes it so easy for them. Willie Lampkin and Drew Kendall have absolutely been two of the best guys on our O-line. I think Markel Bell has absolutely been dominant and the number one guy. But on the interior, these two guys every week are showing up on tape. Here they're blocking number 62, and they just drive him 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 yards down the field, and they look absolutely dominant. They've bullied everybody that's gotten in front of them, no matter who it is, and it's been a lot of fun to watch, and you expect both of these guys to make the team. Willie Lampkin and his frame being as short as he is, you heard a lot of noise last year when we got him from the Rams into this year when we got him from the Rams. You know, I personally wasn't sure who he was, what he was going to bring. I saw the height and the weight whenever I looked him up, and it just kind of made me scratch my head. It was definitely intriguing because he's 5'10, you know, and 285, 290 pounds, which is absolutely insane to think about. But he has just been so strong and he's got hands like glue. Once he's on the defender, there's just not much they can do to stop him. And even with his shorter stature, he just gets inside and pushes up on these guys. And there's just not much they can do about it. It's fantastic to watch. And I hope we get to see some real snaps from him this season. If anything were to happen to Cam Jurgens, Tyler Steen, Landon Dickerson, you imagine Willie Lampkin's probably going to be the first guy in. But Drew Kendall's been just as good. I don't think he's really given up a sack or a pressure. If he has, it's maybe one, not more than that. And he's been rock solid this year as well. Throughout this preseason, throughout training camp, you know, the second team O-line just gets better and better and better. Also want to shout out Jake Majors here. Shout out All About the Birds for this tweet here. He's another one. You know, it's just, you've got so many guys and you watch him get out and move in space. You know, the Eagles for years made their money on athletic centers and guards and big, strong tackles to create plays like this. And if Jake Majors can do this in a preseason game, it tells you he could absolutely go out and do it in a real game setting. Obviously, the players are going to be a little better, but he's got all the athleticism, stays in front of him, keeps his hands on him. He's doing everything right from a technical standpoint, and that's the first step to become a major contributor on a team in the NFL. So shout out Jake Majors too. The whole offensive line was just dominant this game. It was amazing. We're going to talk a little bit about the Eagles' weapons and what we've seen up to this point. Obviously, Dontavian Wicks, Mekhi Lemon, Devontae Smith, Hollywood Brown, Elijah Moore, Dallas Goedert. You know, a lot of your main weapons have not been on the field. We haven't seen a snap of any of those guys really through the preseason up to this point. We've got to see a lot of Darius Cooper, Britton Covey, EJ Jenkins, a little bit of Eli Stowers, but in reality, the weapons have been limited. So what have we seen from the guys that have been on the field? Well, Darius Cooper definitely looks like the number one weapon on the field at all times. He catches just about everything that comes at him. He looks big, strong, fast. He's just really dominated the preseason, even with lackluster quarterback play. He's been in the right place at the right time, and he's done an amazing job to this point. Britton Covey has been dog shit in the return game. Hasn't really done much for us. Couple little like jukes and stuff here, but he hasn't really brought anything. The screen here that I'm showing more about the scheme that's being created than Covey. Pretty much anybody on the team could have turned this into a touchdown. You know, he didn't have to do much here. Don't expect Covey to make the team. I do really want to see the Eagles go out and find another kick return, punt return guy, because I'm just not happy with the special teams unit the way it is right now. Will Shipley's going to make me eat my words. I have never been really high on Will Shipley. I always thought he was a product of the Eagles offensive line. That's why he looks as good as he has half the time. In these past two games he's done, especially this game, he's shown a lot more. Into camp, you know, you're looking, you're hearing, he's definitely doing a lot more. Will Shipley has had some mistakes in the passing game, and that kind of worries you because you can't drop passes in the regular season and expect to get snaps. But with him running like this, he's definitely going to have some kind of role on this team. The only question is how many snaps do they realistically give him? But I think he's saved his spot on the team for right now. And I think he was arguably one of the most dominant offensive weapons that we had on the field yesterday. And a large reason why we were in this game for the majority of the first half, with Andy Dalton stinking everything up. Talk a little bit about Eli Stowers. He's getting so much hate because he's not putting up stats. People are just taking singular clips and saying that he's playing like shit, you know, and it's just ridiculous. You can tell they're not watching the games. Eli Stowers, I showed you earlier, Andy Dalton absolutely missed him wide open. Still a great route runner, still going to be huge in the passing game this year. He's not going to have to be a run blocker, and people are freaking out about it. And it's just kind of funny that rookie tight ends almost never have good seasons in their first year. It normally takes them 2, 3, 4 years to develop into the guy that they're going to become. Even Dallas Goedert, go back and look at his rookie season, was not much production. Yes, he was behind Zach Ertz, but at the same time, we could have ran both of those guys on damn near every play, and they would have been the best weapons on the team. It just takes time for these guys. Want to shout out Anthony Diabona here. Many will focus on Eagles rookie tight end Eli Stowers failing to record a catch against the Patriots, yet I'd like to focus on Stowers' improvements as a blocker and his ability to find work after the catch when others make a play. Stowers is trending in the right direction. So right off the bat here, he's circled in red, hits the first guy, gets up to the second level, puts hands on him. He's not moving, he's not dominating, but he's out here working. Right there again, you see him going up and putting in work. He is not the biggest, the fastest, the strongest, whatever, but you can see here that he has been putting in the work. He's staying in front of his man. His feet keep driving. He's not giving up on it. If he bounces off the first guy, he's finding another guy to hit. And that's exactly what you want to see from a rookie out here, learning how to pass block for the first time. And right there, he arguably makes the cut that opens up the hole for the touchdown, which is fantastic. A great double here, goes out, gets open, not wide open, but open enough to be able to make a catch and hopefully move the chains a little bit. Again, right there, cuts, wide open, gets in the way, creates some space. He's doing all the right things right now. He really is doing everything that you can ask of him right now. And I think Eagles fans need to be a little more patient with Eli Stowers because you're seeing flashes in the preseason. He's putting together some run blocking stuff. He's getting open in the passing game. Even when someone else catches the ball, he's going up the field and trying to find someone to hit to create space for them. He's a team player. He's exactly what this team's looking for. He's not going to be the tight end you want him to be day one. He's a work in progress, but I've been really excited from what I've seen from him so far. And I think those are our best weapons right now on offense that we're going to be able to look at and say, can they actually bring something this year to this squad to help us win a championship? And I think every one of those guys can. I want to talk a little bit about the Eagles defensive line and some of what we've seen from these guys in the 2 preseason games so far. I want to talk about Ty Robinson real quick because a couple weeks ago, early in camp, I probably would have just cut him to make room. I was talking about leaving UR Bernard on the team and just letting Ty Robinson walk. Through 2 preseason games, he's absolutely shut me up. He's had 3 sacks, I believe, 4 QB hits, one of extra one on top of that was negated by penalty. He's been a monster. He's just been an absolute monster. He's not even going out here and doing anything technical and crazy. He's just fighting around these blocks and he looks fast. He looks mean. I mean, he looks bigger than last year. Ty Robinson has been a pleasant surprise, and him and Moro Ojomo and Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. I mean, it's just unbelievable how deep the Eagles could be across the defensive line, especially at defensive tackle right now. He looks like a totally different player. He heard Vic Fangio come out and say he was on life support and he took it personally, and he's been playing like a madman ever since. And I love to see it. If all it takes is a little bit of negative commentary on his play to get him to play like this, then bring it the fuck on. He's just looks like a totally different player. Joshua Wuru got his first sack in this game. That was super exciting. After the game, in the post game, he really didn't even know what he did to get the sack. He's just an absolute athletic freak. He just came storming around the corner on this play, looked like an absolute madman. I mean, he just is an absolute freak of nature. He looked really good last week, looked fast, looked so explosive off the line. And we might have to start talking about how we're going to find room for some of these guys on the bottom of our bench, because they're going to be good in a couple years. And I know you have to do a balancing act of people that can contribute now to people that are going to contribute later. But Wuru just looks like he fits. I mean, he looks, even though he has no idea what he's doing half the time, he just looks like he belongs on that D line. And it was exciting to see him get his first sack and his teammates getting behind him, hyping him up. I can't wait to see what he becomes in a couple years. I just wanted to make sure you guys got a better view, just in case you missed the play. Just an athletic freak. I mean, he got to the quarterback so quick. It was like he was unblocked pretty much. He just ran around the corner so fast. Amazing play from Wuru. And then on top of him, you're also dealing with UR Bernard, who's already getting double teamed at this point, which is absolutely insane. And he got 2 tackles in this game, and he's got a couple pressures through the preseason up to this point. So another guy that's incredibly raw and just looks the part. And looking at UR Bernard's combine, It's actually really similar to Myles Garrett. Now, obviously, Myles Garrett played football his whole life, but it just gives you an idea that if Uar can figure it out even just a little bit, how insane is he going to be in 3 or 4 years? I mean, just a freak of nature. And once he gets the game down, he's going to be great. I can't wait to see these guys develop. Coming out of the D line and into the defense as a whole, Keely Ringo and Aubrey Thomas absolutely need to just get off this team. Both of them looked so bad in the passing game last night, and we can't keep guys like this on the team. I don't care how good of a special teamer Keely Ringo is. You can't have these kinds of mistakes on the field, and it's just gotten more and more consistent with him. Aubrey Thomas looked lost out there. He was really disappointing. There's a lot of bright spots on the defense and in the secondary, but you're having a lot of trouble seeing what they can actually do because you've got guys that are just giving everything up. Sean Wade being one of those guys that has had a fumble, some tackles, some big plays, doing a lot to try and make this team. And I would love to see him on the team over Keely Ringo. I was rooting for Sean Wade when he was coming into the out of Ohio State. So I think he absolutely deserves a shot on this team. Small Mondon, I think he's been playing really, really well. Trotter Jr. has looked like a starter all off season. I mean, he's going to get attention from other teams, and it really makes you wonder, do you re-sign Zach Bond or do you trade Trotter Jr.? Because you can't really keep all three of these guys. And Campbell's a first-round draft pick, getting into the prime of his career now that he's really learned the game and he's feeling comfortable and at home on this team. And Zach Bond is just one of the best, So, and Jahad Campbell and him are an amazing 1-2 punch. So, what do you do with these guys? What happens at linebacker? Because Trotter's really making people start to question, how long can you leave him in a backup role and how can you get him on the field more often? And, it's a good problem to have. Mac McWilliams also, I believe, went down with an injury. I don't think maybe he didn't even play in this game, but his stock is falling as well. And you really would have liked to have seen more out of him. Mac McWilliams is a guy that's been with us for a couple years and has kind of been a disappointment this offseason. He's someone I thought had an easy path to the 4th or 5th cornerback role. Now it looks like he might not even make the team either. All in all, though, the defense played a lot better in this game up until the final drive of the game where they just kind of fell apart, gave up an easy field to the Patriots, didn't really make them work for it. But the last thing I really want to talk about is coaching here. You saw the Britton Covey touchdown. You saw how much smoother the offense looked when Tanner McKee was running things. Even with Andy Dalton, guys were open. He just wasn't making the plays. So Sean Mannion being up in the press box definitely made a difference, and it's exciting to see what he'll do moving forward. All in all, the run game looks so good, and I think that we're definitely going to be a 70-30, 60-40, leaning towards the run this year. The passing concepts look good too, though. We've seen some mesh routes. We've seen some crossers. I feel like we got to see a lot more in this game than we did the last game that showed us, yes, they're still being very vanilla. They're not game planning, but when the offense gets in a rhythm, the schemes are so good that the guys are just kind of falling into place on their own. And it makes you feel a lot better about Sean Mannion. I also think his play calling in this game was fantastic. I would have personally ran the ball a little bit more in the first half. Andy Dalton didn't deserve 15 throws, 14 throws, whatever he got. The O-line was dominating. Will Shipley was dominating. And I would have just leaned on that and seen how long it took the Patriots to actually stop you. But other than that, offense looked great. Defense had some rough spots, but it's to be expected. Vic Fangio will absolutely have his side of the ball ready come week 1. They already look like they're in amazing shape throughout the training camp process to this point. And the offense is finally starting to get its footing and look like it's getting where it needs to be come the start of the season. All right, but that's pretty much it for me, guys. I know this was a long one. I appreciate you guys for sticking through. We got another week of practice and another game coming up. Excited to continue to cover it. Exciting to see what happens throughout this week. Now that we've seen a little bit more from some guys, do we see more Cole Payton moving forward? Is Andy Dalton going to get cut before the deadline, or is he going to make this team? Because right now it looks like you could just get rid of him and bring someone else in. But tell me what you guys think. Comment down below. Let me know who you want to see make this team, who you think deserves to be cut. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.